Welcome back to another edition of the What's the Play podcast. I'm Brian. I'm here with CT and JG, and we're back for the Week 3 weekly recap. We're gonna start. We're gonna start in Minnesota first, with the Chargers and Vikings game. Had a very was a back and forth affair for most of the game, and then it was came down to a questionable decision. 4th and 1 with Brandon Staley. He died at like the 20-something yard line. He went for it, didn't get it. But unfortunately, Kirk Cousins and Minnesota were unable to capitalize. Start with CT. How do you assess Brandon Staley's security?
So with the Chargers, them winning this game, is a bit bittersweet because this is my third team, and for them to win in a game where Brandon Staley made a mistake that arguably could have cost him his job really disappoints me, because that 4th down decision in their own territory, 4th and 1, and you already have thrown the ball almost 40 times with your quarterback, or over 40 times, one of it, with your quarterback, and then you take the ball out of your best player's hands and hand it to who knows, because who knows who they handed the ball off to. Austin Eckler hasn't played. It's I don't think it may have been Josh Kelly.
It wasn't Kelly because he gave it to the fullback.
So yeah, that some no-name fullback. You take the game out of your quarterback's hands, and you go for it on 4th and 1 in your own territory, and you're up. It's not like they were down. You're up. And then gave the Vikings great field position, and they just weren't able to convert down in the red zone. It came down to 4th down, I believe, 3rd or 4th down. Kirk threw a pick. But that was a game they should have lost. And we were talking in the group chat. I had said that this game was on pace to have the most interesting finish of all time of the weekend, because those two teams just know how to lose games, and somebody was going to have to win. I mean, I'd hope it didn't end in a tie. That probably would have been the funniest outcome. But for those two teams to try to lose the game the way they did, it was just very embarrassing. Brandon Staley, I hope he was not satisfied with the coaching performance that he put on. Because if they lost that game, I hope people were calling for his job, because that decision on 4th down was absolutely awful.
As I think about Justin Herbert in this situation, and I'm just hoping Kellen Moore is getting ready to be a head coach soon, because he's going to be head coach Chargers real soon. I see it in the vision. Because I'm all for having faith in your offense and trying to convert a 4th down. But trying to convert a 4th down on your own side of the field, on your 26, in a game you're only winning by 4 is kind of insane. That's kind of. But the insane part is, as a defensive head coach, usually you have trust in your defense. You're paying all these defensive players to step up. You have high draft picks on the D line and in the linebacker core. You got corners. You got all pros almost at every level, and you really can't tell with that defense. It's not too many games where you see both quarterbacks almost combined for 100 passing attempts, but that game did it. Both teams just pretty much abandoned the run, because just it's a combination of lack of defensive talent on the Viking side and just blitzing and hoping and it gets to Justin Herbert. It never did.
Brian Flores system.
Brian Flores is just.
But they got bad running backs too, both teams.
Yeah.
I think Madison had a productive game though.
He sucks.
No, he fumbled.
I thought he had like 80-something yards.
He did. I still think he fumbled though.
He did fumble.
Yeah.
He did fumble. I'm not.
He's just not good.
He better do something, because he's playing for his career.
Yeah, Cam Akers
waiting to take his spot. He gonna sting it up too, so don't let him. But what I was saying, yeah. Brian Flores just kept blitzing Herbert over and over. Herbert just looked in the face of pressure and completed passes over and over. He's done this a lot. 40 completions on 47 attempts. I think metric-wise is one of the best, if not the best, performance against the blitz for any quarterback in years. So that doesn't really surprise me with Herbert. I'm glad to see him and Kellen Moore kind of clicking. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, as he was cooking that game, but he got hurt. Some other receivers got to step up going forward. But I'm still, even though they got the game, I'm still disappointed in the Chargers defense, and I'm not sure what they practice or what they coach, because I really can't tell. They look disorganized often. I think Joey Bosa is just, I can't even remember a highlight he's done this season. He's kind of just out there. Khalil Mack is out there. Darren Williams not Derwin Williams. Derwin James he's playing fine, but it's only so much a safety can do to affect the game when you're not really getting no pressure and the rest of your team kind of stinks. I don't know. I kind of wish that game ended in the tie. It deserved to end in the tie. But it is what it is. The Vikings are 0-3, and when you're 0-3, your chance of making the playoffs is damn near what, like 10%, 5%. So I don't want to say they're in the Caleb watch because I don't think they're that bad talent-wise, but it's a chance they're probably going to be looking at a quarterback soon because, Kirk Cousins only got so many years left, but that team still has a lot of holes on defense, so we'll see what they do.
This is his last year on the deal, too.
It's sad because Kirk is playing the best ball in his career these past couple years. He's on pace for 6,000 this year.
Yeah.
One of them prime Dak Prescott seasons from, before he broke his leg that year. But Dak was on pace for 6,000 that 1 year. But Kirk is playing some good ball. He's the number 2 quarterback in fantasy. And then Jettis is having another historic season. He would have had 3 straight 150-yard games, but he was 1 yard short. So for the Vikings just to be this consistently mediocre and then losing close games, not really looking competitive against the Eagles, very disappointing. Can't say it wasn't really expected because their point differential last year for their record was it a negative? I think it was negative, yeah. And for them to be the number 2, number 3 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
So
it was that record in one-score games, which is obviously flipped on its head this year.
Very hard to be consistent with one-score games. It was rough. That you kind of just see the results, and then at the same time, they lost a lot of their, I wouldn't say elite talent on defense, but a lot of veteran talent they had. So Darius Smith was still there last year, right? He's gone. He's with the Packers now. Pat P's with the Steelers.
No, he's
with the Browns.
Darius Smith with the Browns. Yeah. Him and Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you're right. And Eric Kendricks is
with the Chargers.
Yep. So it's like
being awful.
Eric Kendricks out there. Kid Murray is out there. That Chargers linebacker core is nasty in a bad way. But
they lost Drew Tranquil, man.
Connector.
He said what?
Tranquil.
Drew Tranquil. Chiefs. Yeah, you with the Chiefs now. Him and Nick Bolton. That might be one of the best linebacker duos in the league.
Yeah, and then Vikings just got a lot of young guys and not good young guys at that. So it's kind of rough for Brian Flores to run a blitz man defense with corners that can't play man. So it looks a little crazy, and that's how Justin Herbert getting all them completions, all them yards, and Keenan Allen getting 200 yards in the game, and Mike Williams getting 125. It's nasty, but
considering how bad their drafts have been, could you see their GM being gone?
Who?
Minnesota's.
Hell yeah.
Because I think O'Connell's fine, but
he's more than fine.
But I don't. But we saw the tweet where those.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Pause on that.
This is insane.
I'm saying he's on no hot seat. Let me go with that.
His job security. His job security is
very,
fine.
Very secure. But I don't even want to say the names because I feel like if I say the names of the people they drafted, nobody's gonna know these names.
Christian Darrisaw was a good pick.
That was the only good pick we saw.
That's one out of like 14. Jordan, I know what? I give him Jordan Addison. I like Jordan Addison.
Yeah, Jordan was a good pick.
So it's like 2.
I'm going to try to remember. I'll say a few. I know like Ed Ingram was up there, Andrew Booth Jr., Kellen Mond, Wyatt Davis, who I think is on the Giants practice squad now.
Boss.
Louis Sean, I think was his name, something like that.
He's struggling.
That was that trade for
he
Jameson Williams, if I'm not mistaken.
So I would like to give him a little bit more time, but he hasn't been able to really crack the safety rotation back there.
Mekhi Blackman. Yeah, it's oof, man. It's hard to really build a team for long-term stability when you draft so bad. Sure, you can have free agents that come in and you can,
if you have the cap space.
Get the cap space or you get lucky, but this team is carried a lot by like 3 players, 4 players, and the rest is just Ed Ingram, Andrew Booth, nah, man.
Yeah, I mean it's bad roster construction, but at the end of the day, I can't really say that we were surprised. I think we all came into the year expecting them to not put up the same type of season I mean, we are only 3 games in, so I could see them recovering to still get about 7 wins, 8 wins.
Who did they play week 2?
Who did they play? The Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Eagles week
They
2,
had no
and
chance.
then week
No, I was
1,
thinking about it because like week 1 they lost to Tampa. Everybody expect them to be Tampa, but
Well, they had Baker Mayfield at quarterback, so
that's true.
yeah. So what?
No, you saying that's true to that? That's so crazy.
That's true.
Well, I mean, that's
he's the quarterback.
Oh.
So,
he made plays down the
but the
stretch.
Chargers, Brandon Staley got away with one, and
Absolutely.
he might have bought himself a couple more weeks with that one. But from one bad coach to another bad coach,
Another dubious decision.
the Las Vegas Raiders lost on Sunday Night Football to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let's just give you this scenario: Raiders down 8 at at the Steelers' 8-yard line, 4th and 4, down 8 with 2 minutes left. So in most scenarios, you're thinking, well, you're down 8, you need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Right. And
But
if
Josh,
you don't get it, and if you don't get it,
if you don't get it, you
they're
need
at
to
the
get a
8.
stop.
You get,
Yeah,
they have to,
but Josh McDaniels, he was forward thinking, said, we can kick the field goal, then get the ball back, and then go for the win. But
He trusts his defense too much.
trust the defense. And like Brian had said or somebody said with a defensive coach, you should be able to trust your defense.
Yeah, that was
If you're an offensive coach, you should be able to trust your offense. 4th and 4, I feel like you should trust your offense to pick up 4 yards. And people,
I would
people,
agree, but with the way the game was,
but the
Nah.
problem is,
no, I'm not defending the decision right now. But the way they had been moving the ball and not being able to score in the red zone prior, I could see why he.
Well, yes, but they got to the 8-yard line on this drive. So I feel like if any drive was the one to produce points, this would have been the one. And like SportsFan just said, if you don't convert on 4th and 4, as long as you don't take some crazy sack, they're at the 8-yard line with very little space to make anything happen. So it'll be much easier to get your stop in 3 downs, and you'll still get the ball back with actual reasonable time and reasonable field position.
and let's say they punt from, let's say the Steelers might get a first down. They still, even if they have to punt, they'll punt from like the 20 or the 10. When they scored and then kicked it off, even if once the Steelers punt, then the Steelers end up punting. Then they end up
They
punting.
punt, yeah, they ended up
And
punting, but
the
it was
Raiders
like
had
probably
15
like 30
seconds left once they got
Yeah,
the ball.
when they end up punting to like the Raiders like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like, even if you got the ball back, you trusted your offense to then drive down the field again and get a touchdown?
Yeah, so it was actually very stupid. It was this was probably maybe it wasn't a worse decision than Brandon Staley's. They were both equally bad in my opinion.
I think
'Cause
I think
fourth
Brandon's got to be
it's
worse.
worse than Brandon Staley.
4th and 4 at the 8-yard line. If you can't trust your offense, what type of confidence is that instilling into your offense that you don't think they can get 4 yards in that type of scenario? I feel like you practice your 4th down plays, your late game situations. These are the type of things that you practice throughout all of training camp. 4th and 4.
That's the type of down you
2
practice
minutes.
the most.
yeah.
2 minutes left in the game, and you're down 8. You need a touchdown. You need a 2-point conversion. I feel like the obvious decision, I could almost understand if it was 4th and 10. And maybe you say, all right, maybe we should kick the field goal and just try to get a stop. But 4th and 4, you can't pick up 5 yards. As an offense, you can't pick up 5 yards. You could surprise them, do a halfback draw, and pick up 5 on accident. I mean, there's just so much you could have done as a play caller where you could have found a way to try to pick up 5 yards. But for you to just say that you don't think it's realistic for your team to get 5 yards in this scenario is insane to me.
It's just like, it seems backwards because you didn't trust him to get 5 yards.
But
Or you
trust them
expected him to drive
the field.
80
yeah,
and then get a touchdown? And
with no timeouts.
almost barely any time.
Yeah, and you weren't going to have any timeouts left when you got the ball. Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback. We've seen what he does in the end of games. I don't know what he was thinking.
I think the worst part is...
We definitely built.
No, the worst part is that he won the post-game interview and said it was going to have
We
to...
needed 2 possessions.
We needed multiple possessions anyway. You did not need multiple possessions.
You needed
8-point
multiple
game.
possessions to win, but you did not need multiple possessions to extend the game. And you
It's
ended
almost like he didn't realize if he just ties the game, then you either force him to go to overtime or force him to get in field goal range.
because I feel like, honestly, the way that Pittsburgh has passed the ball for most of the season, say hypothetically you do score on that possession
Mhm.
and you do get the 2-point conversion, tie game. Pittsburgh passing the ball, I almost want Kenny Pickett to drop back and see 7 in coverage, Because then you probably gonna get the ball back because it's
Maybe
probably
three straight incompletion?
Yeah, 3 straight, or it's not gonna lead to much. And then even if you have to use your timeout,
Man, even if they run, they're not going
yeah,
nowhere.
Definitely not going to.
I'm not scared of Pittsburgh's offense to the point where I feel like them passing the ball is gonna end the game on us. This is Kenny Pickett. I mean, he had a decent game, but I wouldn't be too worried about Pittsburgh's offense. So it was a lot of layers that clearly showed that McDaniel should have done something and he did the other thing. So I don't really know what he was doing. They don't have any outs for his contract for a couple years, at least financially.
I literally think they can't afford it for like a year,
Yeah,
another
so-
year or
Yeah.
two.
I don't know. This was an awful decision.
He definitely bailed out Pittsburgh though, because obviously
Yeah, I thought
they
this
don't-
game was won.
Yeah, because there was like 3.5 minutes left. They kicked the field goal and made it, but then Pittsburgh had the leaping penalty or something like that. So then they obviously took the 15, and then that's when they went down and got to the 8-yard line. So this could probably, if Pittsburgh had lost that game, people probably would have looked back at that penalty.
Yeah, that would have been an awful loss for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they definitely would have looked back at that penalty. But I think that might have been partially what went into Josh McDaniels' head, even though it had been a minute and a half later, and you had already driven down there. I think it was 4th and 5 when they kicked the field goal. When they kicked the long field goal with like 3.5 left, but I can't remember.
Man, you got to go for that too. But yeah, that was just bad coaching. Congrats to Pittsburgh for winning that game, but man, Josh McDaniels is awful.
It's been a lot of like really bad coaching this year. I don't know why it's been so.
I mean, I can
stark
tell
to
you
see.
why.
Let me hear it.
Why
I
do
mean,
you
if you
think?
just think off the top of your head, how many good solidified good coaches are in the NFL right now?
Like who's like even no matter what they do this season, their job's
Yeah.
still locked in.
At least 4,
It's
maybe
more-
5.
it's
I would say
Andy, you saying
Tomlin,
good or,
Tomlin,
like,
Andy
elite?
Reid,
John Harbaugh,
Harbaugh.
Kyle.
Saying just good.
Yeah,
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle. I think Matt has done enough,
You already,
especially what we've seen.
you already
with
said
Jordan
McDaniel.
Fuller.
You said Matt.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel.
yes.
Matt
pretty
LaFleur.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure Bill Belichick's good.
Yeah, he said that.
Sean
But I think
McDermott.
he
Y'all
named
said Sean
Belichick.
McDermott.
McDermott's that's a good one. That's a good one.
I don't know.
Because he's the defensive guy. So
But
I don't.
still, like, say if Bills don't go, who they
Mm.
supposed to go this year? Like,
If the
he's on
Bills
the
disappoint
hot
in the
seat
playoffs
like
again,
that.
I don't know if he's safe.
Yeah.
I think he's a good coach though.
Yeah, he's
But-
a good
Yeah.
coach.
The problem is, I feel like
Jury. I
when
think
you make the playoffs consistent like that, and your defense plays consistent as it has over the years, as we just saw it, like you just saw it this weekend. It's
Left
like
hand up.
if you fire him, who's gonna be better? Like how many coaches you
What's
think
the
is better
question?
than Sean McDermott?
Who's at OC? Has it been same OC for the past
it's
2 years?
Ken
No.
Dorsey.
Ken
now.
Dorsey
Ken
now.
Dorsey now.
Remember,
Brian-
it used to be Dable.
Dable.
First year, first year
This
was
is-
last year.
This is the second year. This is
Second year.
It's not. I can't say it's Dable because the Bills had a good season last year too, though.
Exactly.
They did,
Offensively.
but it looked a little crazy come playoff
did.
I
time.
say Josh
It
had what
did.
17. or
It looked
something?
crazy, but it ain't look crazy because of defense.
No, that's what he
That's
said because of
my whole thing
Dable.
about
The
So that's
McDermott.
why-
the offense looked a little crazy.
So if you fire McDermott, who you gonna?
You're right. You got this one.
So it's like
Let me. Yeah. So you got them. You got.
trying to do all the divisions in my head.
I can tell you
I
this.
would
gonna
say
lie.
I would say McVay, but I
It's
don't know
gonna
how y'all
sound
feel
crazy.
about him.
Zach
I think
Taylor.
every head coach in the NFC West at least is above average
Yeah.
at this point.
I'd agree.
I've seen enough
I'd
to
agree.
at least say that.
Who do you not believe?
Who?
in?
Coaching wise, and every coach in NFC West.
Wait.
Would you go say Gannon or you
I'm
say?
not gonna say nothing. They just beat the Cowboys. He can have it.
You got that.
He
Even
wins.
if we didn't beat the Cowboys, I've seen enough 3 weeks that say we're at
Doesn't
least.
that sound crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
actually
over
watched
here
my
saying
team.
Jury
It's
might be
hard.
out on day ball
I don't-
still, depending on how people feel.
We've been
but-
competitive in every game. Have you been competitive in every game?
Hey, hey, y'all was not competitive week 2. The fact that y'all lost that game, that's not competitive football.
Okay,
That's not
that's
competitive.
good. That's good. You think that?
Week 3, that game, the final score does not indicate how close that game was. You was watching the same game. It was a 2-possession game the whole
Which
game.
when was it close? After Sam threw the second, third, or fourth pick?
After he threw the third one, it was still 16-0.
Got you.
Still a close game.
Damn.
Defense came to play. But no, I didn't say anything about Ron Rivera being a good coach. So
I'm
there
just
you
trying
go.
to.
NFC East might not have one. To be honest, Brian Dable, they starting to question him already.
Yeah, the question is Brian. So are you saying Nick is a talent merchant?
Yeah,
He's not a talent merchant. It's just
that
the
offense
best
looking
coaches-
crazy.
the
That
best
offense
coaches in
looking
that
crazy
building,
without.
he let walk out.
Yeah, that offense looking
Mm.
crazy without Steichen a little bit. And Jalen Hurts, I think he's think I heard about him being hurt or something.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think they
I
said he had like the flu-like symptoms or something like that.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but that offense been looking crazy without Steichen. And Sirianni, he's always been a bit of a weirdo to me. But that is what it is. But you know, there's just some divisions where there's not many good coaches, and like SportsFan said, there's some divisions with at least 3 good coaches. You know, solidified.
So would y'all say the top 3 conferences come to coaching? The NFC West. Would you put AFC East?
I feel like the East has to be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about AFC North?
Probably. Just because their two coaches are just that high up. I think you have to.
I mean,
Zach Taylor's a good coach.
Yeah.
I think.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Zach Taylor,
is not a
man,
good coach.
he cooking up with Joe Burrow
You-
for the last 3 years, fooling y'all.
I think I'm glad you said this. It makes me think. You can tell like some coaches, some teams you can tell are good because of coaching. Some teams are good because of talent, and some teams are good because of both.
The
The Bengals are not good because of coaching. They're good because of talent.
No.
Why you saying you don't know?
I don't know, man. I think he be putting that quarterback in position to succeed sometimes.
I mean, the way that game went last night,
I think it goes both ways.
Joe Burrow. He's been Joe Burrow in situated to see.
You be saying his name. The way you say his name just don't move me.
It's not even Joe Burrow. It's like
say another good quarterback name.
Patrick Mahomes.
I thought he was going to say I definitely thought he was about to say Tua.
Nah. When you say
Tagovailoa.
All right, so
Tua Tagovailoa.
okay, so I'm gonna name 3
Tua
games.
Brain's my fault.
3 games for this weekend, right? I want y'all to tell me if they won because of good coaching, or good talent, or both.
okay,
Colts Ravens. Colts won that game.
coaching. Gardner Minshew was
Gardner
not
Minshew was
doing
backing up.
a thing.
He wasn't. It was a bad game. I want to vent, but that's not.
I'm about to say we're gonna get to that game.
Texans Jaguars.
Coaching.
I think it's a bit mix of both, a little bit.
Actually, I'm gonna say both.
Because CJ Stroud came to play.
I'm gonna say the Texans won because of the Jaguars coaching, not the head coach. I don't think the head coach is the. Ooh, that was nasty. I don't think the head coach is the issue.
That's how she shoots, man.
But that defense, how many points they give up? 37.
Yes, 37.
Man, yeah, that's not ideal.
They better get it fixed since they in London this week.
I mean, they're going against the greatest
Falcons.
high-state quarterback of all time. That's all you can do.
Last game, Cowboys Cardinals. That's easy.
Coaching.
Ain't no fucking talent on that team. I can tell you that.
Well,
Cowboys talent. I don't know, man.
No,
What you mean? I don't know.
The Cowboys got talent.
The Cowboys
Cowboys
talent
coaching.
gave it to them, man.
Is this another Cowboys coaching game?
Man,
Big Mike.
Cardinals showed up to play, but them
they
Cardinals.
show up to
them
play every
Cowboys.
week. They just don't finish games.
Them
So-
Cowboys.
That's literally
Exactly. That's the fact that the Cowboys lost. Is it a
Because I was
Cowboys coaching
I was
thing?
definitely expecting them to do what they did in the second half last week. I'm not gonna lie to you, JJ.
They ran that fucking ball, man. About time they understand.
Yeah, James Conner was killer.
Yeah, I need that
He's been good
for
3 weeks
fantasy
now.
purposes.
I think James Conner's like
No one give a fantasy
second in the league for running
fantasy league update to the viewers.
Not really. Don't care.
We
about
got a
that.
whole bunch of 1 and 2
Why not?
teams
You're
right
like
now.
2-1.
Yeah.
We got 1
So
3-0
you're having a
We
good
got
year.
1 3-0 team, a couple 2-1s,
It's
a
only
whole
one
bunch of
3-0
1 and
team.
2s.
Yeah.
That's just nasty.
Who's on
and
3?
And 1 0-3 team.
Who's on 3?
Christian.
Baller boy.
Yeah, he might be good.
Not this Christian. No.
But say not this Christian, not
Yeah.
C.
This Christian is the exact opposite.
Oh, he's 3-0.
3-0.
What a
Look
guy.
Yeah. How does everybody feel about their individual teams? What do you think do you guys think your team has a ceiling?
Probably.
Ceiling? Like, what do you mean?
'Cause
do
my
we
be-
have
'cause
a
my-
ceiling?
Do you think your team I
do.
honestly feel like my team needs to be in the championship or I'm the Cowboys of fantasy. Do you feel like your team is like in Madden, if you loaded in with your team and the franchise goal, what is your goal based off what your team?
My goal is to
Make
get
playoffs.
to
Give me
get to 500
fails.
probably.
500, man.
You know,
Because I
mine
mean,
is-
this week I'm playing
up.
against the team that's 0-3. So if I lose, like we're
Oh yeah, if you lose to Baller Boy, man,
Oh,
you might gotta blow it up.
nah, you know where I'm at though. You know what? You know I'm here.
Yeah, me and Caleb.
he's definitely make the conference championship type ceiling right
yeah,
now.
nah.
That's not fair.
I'm
We know-
one of
we know
them-
what
yeah, I'm
yours
one of
is,
them
but-
teams that has lost in the conference championships the last couple years. So it's like,
The Super Bowl
yeah,
bus.
make Super Bowl on fire. The Buffalo Bills.
You gonna lead the league?
I got it. if I don't
He said
win
if he
this year,
doesn't
I'm
make it,
done.
he might.
It's not make Super Bowl. It's win Super Bowl. I have to. My team has put up 150 points each game in the last 3 weeks. If I do not win
And
this year,
he has made no trades.
and Aaron
He's made
Jones
no
has
trades
not
yet.
played the last 2 weeks. If I do not win this league, oh my goodness, I'm not coming back. and I'm not putting no money up. I'm done.
All right, so
Sounds like a
question.
gambler. I'll see you next year.
Question. Just a thought that came to my mind.
Mm.
So do y'all know the Dolphins
Right.
kind of not make history, but put some historic numbers up.
Oh no, they made history.
They made history.
Yeah, whooping the shit out of them niggas.
So
They almost made history.
and I know how
They
like
made more than
Nah, that's gotta be some type of
That's
history.
history. That's
so
history.
No, I'm not saying it's not.
A
I'm
50-point win.
When I saw
No,
70, I
not
said,
not the
"My
margin, not the
God."
margin
So-
of victory. Like
When I
the-
saw Robbie Anderson get a touchdown, I said everything is my fault. Chosen.
But I had to
Chosen.
tell you.
Robbie Chosen? Chosen
Yeah.
Anderson?
Robbie
Man, he
Chosen.
changed
When
it
I
like
saw
4
Robbie's
times.
score, I was like,
You
I
don't
gotta
never
tell
say his
DG.
name right the first time.
Man, he changed it, man.
but what do y'all kind of think more of or value more? The Dolphins win and how many points they put up, or the Bengals win and how bad they were.
The Bengals?
You mean the Broncos lost?
Bengals.
No, you mean Bengals win?
Yeah, Bengals. How you not y'all
I
watch the
value
game
the
last night?
Dolphins win more.
I
'Cause
don't,
I think
really, I don't value either.
I value the Dolphins
Like,
more.
I'm like,
'cause
do
I
you
feel-
see how like bad they Bengals won? So like, what kind of make you overreact more?
The
Oh,
Dolphins.
overreact?
The Dolphins offense or the Bengals
the
offense?
Bengals offense?
No, I think
if
the
we're talking about overreactions, the Bengals offense.
I think the
Yeah.
Dolphins' offense is actually legitimately
Sustainable.
this good.
Yeah, the Dolphins.
Well, not I won't say 70-point good, but I think they'll finish as the best offense in the league.
It'll be between them and
Um,
San Fran, probably.
To be fair, they was on his pace last year before Tua got hurt. So
Yeah.
it's not something like we haven't seen
it's
before.
not out of yeah. It's not
Tua's
out
even
of-
more comfortable than he was last year, and they're cooking on a different level.
Why are you hating?
Do you know what the MVP favorite is right now?
Well, if
Do you
Justin
know?
Herbert would have won,
It's
the
not Justin
first two
Herbert,
games,
so you can go to the next name. It's not Mahomes.
Really, not
No.
Tyreek.
It's not Tyreek.
I don't know. You got me. Yeah, the Bengals, man.
It's Tua. For
I don't know if I'm
everybody,
overreacting, but
I
I'm
don't know
just.
if it's. I don't know if that game or team needs a reaction because I hate to say this, but
They're just not that
they're
good.
playing Joe Burrow into the ground. Like
Yeah.
I can't believe he actually played yesterday.
Jamar Chase literally was saying that he should come back week 6, like when that injury first happened.
He said,
so.
"I don't want him back too early," and Joe said, "No, I just got paid all this money. I gotta go play." And now it looks crazy.
Gotta save him from himself, man.
We was looking at what was the stat? Like I think there's only like 2 quarterbacks like ever to have less yards per like attempt,
Yeah.
and I think the other one was
Average depth of target
It
is
was
like
like-
4.8.
okay, and I think one of them was J.P. Lawson, and the other one was
Yeah, I know
yeah.
Kerry Collins was like
Gary
4th.
Collins. So it's like when you're with names among that, it's very hard to build like offense going forward because when you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, you kind of have to take shots on the field to really
Mm-hmm.
use them to their best ability. Yeah, it worked yesterday versus the Rams, but if you can name someone in the Rams secondary, I'll be impressed.
Kobe
Darion
Durant.
Kendrick.
Like, come on now.
Kobe Durant.
Yeah, y'all only know him because his last name Durant. Anyway,
No, his first name sounds like Kobe.
I only know Darion because he went to Clemson for a couple years.
Unserious people right here.
Would you like another? Jordan Fuller? Does he play for them still?
I think so.
He
yeah.
does.
I think he's
Safety.
number 4.
Cooking,
He's
y'all.
the best player on that team.
Whew,
Not
he's
named
not.
Aaron Donald, of course.
No.
Not named Aaron Donald, of course.
Man.
I was talking about secondary. But
I don't know, man.
Oh, you
Puka
talking about
look-
on defense?
I don't know.
Speaking of former Rams players, how do we think about Miami looking this way and not even having Jalen Ramsey implemented into their defense yet?
yeah, Jalen Ramsey coming back, but as a big Jalen Ramsey fan and supporter, I don't know if he should really play this year.
Man, he'd be alright.
Dudes that usually come back in December off injury don't usually look too good. But if he wants to come back and still looks elite, I'm all for it. But we're gonna see how it looks. I'm not going.
He might not
make
be
a
able to play that slot role. That's too
Yeah,
much
he won't
back
be
and
able to-
forth with
No,
that knee.
he'll definitely be playing outside.
He has to play outside in a certain type of D. He can't play like physical as he did before.
Who is
That's
their defensive coordinator?
Vic Fangio.
Okay, so he probably
Oh yeah,
has
that.
Jalen in the
Oh yeah,
star
that
role
cover
anyway.
4 scheme going. All you gotta do is run back.
And he's got a run. He really
Keep
do. That's all
everything
he
in
got
front
to
of
do.
As long as he not slow, just run back, man. You be alright.
That's pretty much it. But then years in the AFC, so you are gonna probably get checked up. Not checked up, but matched up against Mahomes, Allen, or one of them elite quarterbacks, or
Maybe even Jamar Chase.
even
They not making the playoffs.
nah.
You don't think they make it?
I think the
won't
Bengals.
allow it. I won't allow.
I won't allow it. It's
I
hilarious.
will not allow it.
Hear me out.
I know Joe
They
Burrow
third
is
in
like
that
a
division.
IR. I know he's on IR watch. I'm just.
It's not even he's on our watch. They barely beat the Rams, and they're 1-2 in the season. Joe Burrow literally can't throw the ball further than 10 yards. That's why I'm convinced. Like, I think Brandon was like, if he tries to push the ball more than like 30, 40 yards, his Achilles is
Let's
gonna
hear his
pop.
Achilles.
Yeah, so it's like,
That's
I'm
not funny.
I wasn't trying to.
man, that shit was funny to me. It's like Joe Burrow. I understand you're trying to gut it out, but at some point you gotta realize you're doing more damage than good. So
Yeah, especially considering your arm wasn't that special to begin with.
yeah, you really built your game on timing and accuracy, and it's really hard to be on time and accurate when it feels like your leg's gonna pop off any
You
second.
can't step into a throw.
You can't step into a throw.
He
So
can't. He definitely can't throw over 30. He barely could throw over 40 before. So nah, man. He really ain't throwing over 30.
they're gonna see a lot of cover two, man, pressing up and forcing Joe to throw deep. And I feel like if you try to throw deep, it's gonna be the craziest duck you ever seen. It's going right into the other team hands. So
Man,
it's gonna look really.
we're gonna be
wicked.
watching Red Zone next week. He gonna throw a dot, and everybody gonna think he back. Then the final stat line gonna show up in a couple hours.
Nah, I think I
One
had.
touchdown, 2 picks
Am I tripping? He had like 30 passing attempts at halftime.
at halftime.
Yeah,
You
hold
cannot tell me Zach Taylor's a good
and
coach.
144.
You cannot
total
tell me
yards.
Zach Taylor's a good coach.
Bro, he was just doing what Joe told him to.
No, this is crazy.
So Joe's the head coach.
No, Joe is just.
Talent.
You ain't see that video of the owner picking him up and driving him around.
Joe runs that team.
Exactly, but he's not the coach.
So he's LeBron, but just not LeBron.
Yeah, he's LeBron without being LeBron.
Cleveland.
He's giving that city hope.
Cleveland.
For what reason?
Ohio Sports.
Now, if they had
man,
if they had a
on one.
real quarterback for real arm, then they could make some noise. But I just don't see it.
Like the guy in LA.
I feel like
or
I feel like they
somebody-
over
somebody
they
else?
over
Somebody else in Ohio.
they-
They had a really good game this week.
they over nah.
We're not talking about that game.
They overproduced.
Derrick Henry only
um,
having 20 rushing yards is insane to me.
I'm
They-
not shocked.
The Bengals overproduced the year they went to the Super Bowl, and then last year, they surprisingly didn't have a Super Bowl slump, with a lot of teams do. But
I mean, of
this
course not. They got
all
Joe
in
Burrow.
all, this roster is not.
Still a good roster.
Very.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's better than most.
The defense is.
Defense is good. The defense is good.
Defense is good.
Yeah, the defense is. They play above their name, definitely.
That's
Their name's on the roster. They
Their
play above
defensive
Their
coordinator is
defensive
definitely.
coordinator was
And then the
close to being our head
offense,
coach, but
the
he didn't
offense
coach that team.
explosiveness with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. He struggled yesterday, and he didn't really do anything week 1 either. He's worrying me a little
They got to
bit.
get T going.
But Tyler Boyd, I don't want to say he may be losing a step, but he is getting a bit older. And then Joe Mixon,
I don't know about losing this stuff. I think he's about the same he's always been.
and then Joe Mixon, he's
He's there.
he's a. I
He plays football.
Can't even say he was a good dude.
He had a few nice runs yesterday.
He was a guy,
He's a guy.
yeah. And then
Yeah, they played him
after
back.
Joe Mixon, they lost P. Ryan, and he wasn't really that explosive. They lost my guy Hayden Hurst.
Oh yeah, he is in
Yeah,
Carolina.
That team just looks a little crazy.
Is Irv Smith tight end one?
Sure is. I ain't even
Dang.
heard his
I
name
thought it
all
was Drew
season.
Sample.
What's the difference?
Man, if Drew
Talking about
Sample
on
is playing-
Cincinnati?
man.
Yeah.
I thought it was Hayden.
No, Hayden's in Carolina.
Hayden's in Carolina with Bryce Young carrying him.
Andy Dalton.
I thought it was opposite
Definitely-
way
definitely Andy Dalton.
around. Because I remember,
Hayden caught the first touchdown.
because I took Hayden
Threw it
Hurst.
into the
Cause
stands.
I remember, because I remember I picked up Hayden Hurst last season in fantasy after the draft.
He's
Yeah, I was
not
like,
my
what the
favorite tight
fuck?
end.
Like, hey, man.
How many teams has Hayden Hurst been on?
Maybe that's the first round tight end right there, man.
Hayden Hurst was on.
He was on.
He's on the
on the
Falcons.
Bengals.
So he started
he was
with
on the
Baltimore.
Falcons.
He was on
but
Baltimore.
He was on the Ravens
Ravens,
first.
too.
No, he was on the Ravens first. He drafted the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ravens
Then
and then
we-
the Falcons.
Then we
Okay.
traded him to Atlanta.
Because that's when
then-
Mark Andrews
Nah.
started to emerge.
Cincinnati picked him up. Then, yeah, now
Now
Panthers
he's in
got him.
Carolina.
Their best target.
Just another white tight end.
Nah, Hayden Hurst is like that. You tripping?
He
My
is.
fault. Hayden Hurst is like that.
He is, man. He ain't Mark Andrews, but he likes that.
Ain't too many like Mark Andrews. Was there another game you want to touch on before we kind of just went around the whole league?
No, he doesn't.
No,
know.
it's up to y'all.
Oh, we can just kind of touch on every game for real.
You want to start naming them?
Yeah, just start naming teams.
All right, just give me
Quick analysis.
quick analysis. Do Saints Packers.
Jordan Love, man.
What about him?
What you mean? What about
He
him?
cooking that ball, man. He throwing that.
Came back down 17, man.
I'm a big Jordan Love fan, but the credit does not entirely go to him. He got bailed out by a lot of
The game
Saints defensive errors. They did come back down from 17, but this was not his best game of the season.
Hear me out though.
I will say the game definitely turned.
If you looked at that
once.
Packers injury list, I think every like elite player they had was on that injury list, like inactive. So
Yeah, the receivers were dropping
many-
a lot of
how many-
passes too.
How many elite players do they have? Aaron Jones and Jair.
Christian
and
Watson.
Rashawn
maybe?
Gary came
where's
back.
Christian? Where's Christian?
David
Christian
Bakhtiari.
Watson is not elite.
David Bakhtiari.
He's always hurt. I forgot about him. He been hurt the last 3 years.
Somebody else was hurt. though.
Kenny Clark sucked now, right?
No,
He
he's
got a
still
sack.
good. Kenny Clark is still good.
He's good.
Rashawn Gary's still.
Rashawn Gary,
Rashawn Gary just came back.
He's probably second best defender.
No, he's
third.
I got some
Who's
good
second?
news. I got some bad news for
Kenny
you.
Clark.
I think he's better.
No,
than Kenny.
Rashawn Gary is top.
He's better than Kenny.
Rashawn Gary is the
Let's
best
see.
defensive player on that team.
No, he's not better than Jair.
What about- I mean,
Stop
Devondre.
it.
He's closer to Jair than Kenny
Devondre,
is.
first team All Pro.
That's
last year.
true.
He's good too. Man, stop playing with that team, man. What they're lacking is wide receiver room. I can't excuse that.
No,
That's
Back to
bad.
Christian Watson, man.
But
But
Christian Watson is.
He be fooling
he's
y'all.
they
Yeah.
need him. They need a deep threat, bro.
They need.
That's
bodies.
all they are.
They need bodies.
Oh, he just the big body that they need because they
But-
got a bunch of little slot guys right now running around.
I'm glad for Jordan Love. That's great. But
Jalen
the real
Reed's
problem
kinda
is
nice.
the real issue in that game that
That swung the momentum.
swung the momentum is Derek Carr injury. I saw Saints fans on Twitter basically giving up on life. They know the season's over.
What is his injury?
AC
was like-
sprain.
Yeah, I was about to say
He
it's
out
the
for a
shoulder.
little minute, probably.
I think it
Probably a
was
few
I
weeks.
think it was his throwing shoulder. So we'll
Yeah, it was.
see.
It was
Ooh,
a
yeah, he
shoulder.
out for a
shoulder.
minute. Out for a
Well,
good
they got
minute.
Jameis Winston, and some
Love
people
Jameis
believe in
Winston,
Jameis. I saw him play last year. I do not believe in Jameis, but
And maybe you just got to be prepared. You know. You don't remember James saying just be prepared?
He's always
no,
prepared.
he was like, no. The way he said he was like, man, we just had to be prepared. He's like, my trainer always told me,
What are you telling me?
we just had to be prepared. At that point, I realized he just says anything
always
that comes to his
prepared,
mind.
man.
He's always prepared.
That's a quarterback. That's a leader. He'll galvanize that team. I'll tell you that much. That team will be galvanized.
All we
Jameis
eat is
Winston
W's,
gonna
man.
move them.
We only eat W's.
Gotta eat W's. But then, what was the next game?
We could do. Let's do Bears and Chiefs real quick.
Skip. Skip.
Yeah, you know, you
Quickly. Caleb Williams watches definitely
on.
for them.
Yeah.
And it's
Bears are
crazy
bad.
because the Vikings. I mean, well, the Vikings and the Panthers play each other this week. So if you're a Bears fan, like, how do you root for that game? Honestly,
Justin Fields might be
You
the
don't
second
care,
worst
Carl,
quarterback
'cause
in the league.
You know you're gonna lose about 13 plus games anyway. So you just gotta pray nobody lose better than them, and ain't nobody losing like the Bears. They just look bad offensively, defensively, after having the most cap space and spending a lot of it this
so
season.
insane.
Front office is cooked.
Both them teams 0-3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
that-
like,
Vikings and the Panthers are 0-3. The Bears and the Broncos are both 0-3,
Yeah,
and they
for-
play
yeah.
each other this week.
All
The
four of them
Bears
play each
finna
other.
doors them.
You think they're beating the Broncos?
Oh wait, the Bears play who?
They play the
Oh,
Broncos. The
I thought
Vikings
you-
and the Panthers.
Oh, the
play.
Vikings. Oh no, the Vikings finna doors the Panthers.
Oh yeah, the Vikings.
Oh my goodness.
Jay Jettis might get 200.
That's about to be 31-13. Oh my goodness, they about to kill them.
All right, next game. Speaking of them, Panthers and Seahawks.
Skip. Geno Smith.
Geno was hooping, man.
He's still looking like Geno Smith. That's
Quick-
the only thing I was worried about coming into the
quickly.
year.
I'm worried about Bryce Young.
Yeah,
But at
because
the
the way
same
Andy,
time,
because the
I'm
way
not.
Andy Dalton played.
Because
Yeah.
Andy Dalton is a vet, and he's been playing multiple systems. He's been at least average for a lot of systems.
I tried
At
to
the same
tell
time,
y'all.
for Bryce Young, whatever it lies, the O-line is even bigger issue than I thought.
Yeah,
And he's already kind of short.
and them.
He's not mobile like Kyler or Young Russ or any of the other short quarterbacks.
Yeah,
He's more so
Yeah.
moving the pocket like,
more like a Tua, maybe. Because Tua's not really
yeah,
running like that.
he's not. Yeah, and Tua didn't really start clicking until he got some weapons. It's cool. Adam Thielen had a pretty decent game. DJ Chark had a pretty decent game, but they ain't getting open. Andy Dalton just kind of throwing them open a lot. So it's we'll see how that looks going forward.
I tried to tell y'all. Last week, when he lined up under the guard instead of the center, I was a little worried.
I was a little worried about that too.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
the
kinda
gonna-
running
crazy.
back had to push him into place. He
That's kinda
might
crazy.
not be aware. Might not be.
I
fully-
It's not the same when you. It's Alabama, man.
Hey,
That,
Nah,
that dropping.
I can't even say it's not even because this last year Alabama. It's not like that team was loaded with talent. Still was Alabama, but it wasn't
That's
loaded
true.
with
That's
talent. It's just when you're number one pick, you got a lot of expectations, and you're playing for. I guess the Panthers thought that trading the wide receiver 1 and then drafting a QB 1 and then surrounding him with not a lot
Threes.
not a lot of talent.
A lot of
Yeah.
threes.
That's it.
Wide receiver 3s. Miles
it.
Sanders.
I say they have more
That's
talent on that offensive coaching staff than probably their receivers.
Yeah, that coaching
what
staff
a
is
bar.
not an excuse.
Y'all move on to the next game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bills Commanders.
No, we already talked about that. Next.
I think
We already talked about
I
that.
think
did.
It's a bad game for the Commanders. I
We
think
did?
I
Yeah,
think
it was a
Sam
trap game.
Howell will look
That's not a trap game.
I think Sam
Not
Howell.
a trap game. I don't think you know what that word
I think
means.
Sam Howell will look a little bit better this
Schedule
week
loss,
against.
schedule loss.
That's better.
Sam,
But I think Sam Howell will look a little bit better against Philly this week. 'Cause I think they'll be able. I think you said it yourself. You think they'll be able to run the football a little bit.
I said run the ball. Yeah.
So you
Sam
don't think
Howell
Sam
would not
Howell
look
can play
better.
well off of
Being
that?
able to play off
Man,
the
if
run.
you think the Buffalo Bills got to him, don't wait till you see what Jalen Carter about to do to him. Wait
Don't
till
give
you
him
see that.
Hassan. Hassan Reddick
watch
too.
how
man.
watch how he respond.
I think the only D tackle that has more pressure as a Jalen Carter is Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
Okay.
and it's
Let's
like
just move on. He
he's delusional. It's all good, man.
It's not delusion. It's just. It's not. That's not a Sam Howell thing. That's the offensive line. They just
When Sam
stink.
Howell scrambled out to the left and tried to throw a 6'5" D into
No,
a picture.
when he that play in live action, I seen Jahan Dawson. I thought he was gonna throw the ball. He was wide open.
I'm not gonna.
But I didn't think AJ Epinesa was gonna do that.
When
I
he,
would have made that same throw.
when he threw that pick to the end zone trying to target
No,
Trey White.
No. All the
that
picks
was a
was
good
bad.
play. That was a good play.
Which
No,
one?
that was a
Which
bad
one?
pick.
Okay.
They was all bad picks, honestly.
Okay. As long as you're honest.
That first pick, man, right to the linebacker. The second pick, right to the late to the flat. That third pick, just throwing it late.
Yeah, that late pick to the running back. I saw Zach Wilson do that in training camp.
That first throw was
that's
first
good,
interception was a tough.
Oh,
throw.
we want to talk about the Jets and
Nah,
your
not
QB1 from 2000.
Like I said, I got 2 more games.
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
I'm about to say your first, but that first interception.
There's a few
was
more games to
little-
talk about, but I don't think they're worth talking about.
I'm about to say that first interception was a little bit tough. Well, that throw in general was tough because you had the two safeties
He
converging,
didn't have to throw that ball.
and you had the linebacker.
He shouldn't have thrown that ball, but it's okay. He'll learn. It's a learning experience. It's only his 4th start. Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins in his 6th start or something had a 4-pick game, so happens to the best of them. Lately.
All right, so Titans, Browns.
Is there really anything to talk about with this?
Yeah,
game?
Titans
I
look
recluse
like the
myself.
Titans. It's just that
How
the
long?
O
before-
line is not ready. That Browns defense is, I think, number 1 in the league right now,
Yeah.
and that D line is legit. Miles Garrett is in a DPOY race with T.J. Watt and Michael Parsons again, so they're cooking.
No, Micah out the race after this week. You can't lose to the Cardinals and still be in the race. Sorry, Montez Sweat took his spot.
That's crazy.
Okay, let's game off of that
So
one.
I know Mike Vrabel is trying to win, and I know Ryan Tannehill gives them their best chance to win. But how
Right.
many more weeks before we see a quarterback change? Even though I don't think it's completely Ryan
Quarterback
Tannehill's
not
fault.
the issue. They
I
just-
don't think it's his fault because
No.
obviously that offensive line isn't as good. But
I mean, if they're just bad to the point where you just want to evaluate, then I
Then
guess
yeah,
you can
they'll
see it.
switch and just.
But the
try
record
somebody.
just has to be to a certain point. I don't think they'll do it
Maybe
just
like
because
week.
they got to be like eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
like
think.
week 10,
Got
week
you.
12. Look for that if they're really.
They won't be
bad.
eliminated. The division not good enough.
that is true.
They won't be eliminated till week 14.
Yeah, the Texans beating the Jaguars messed up a lot of stuff.
All right, so
Sure,
what?
it did. Yes, it did. Oh, and Browns number 4. He's clicking again.
You could have just said redacted.
I said Browns number
Or
4.
we could have just not talked about him
He's clicking.
That is true. That
for
is- that is
against the
true.
Titans.
Oh man,
Root
NFL
against-
team's an NFL team.
Root
Man.
against a real team. Who do they play next week?
You're right. Josh Allen didn't play a real team this week. That
He
played
sure
well.
didn't.
They play Baltimore, don't they?
Oh
Who?
yeah, I need that.
Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah.
I
we
think
did.
Cleveland plays
The
Baltimore.
Browns are winning that game.
I forgot. Baltimore be running out me and SportsFan at cornerback. Oh,
The
my
Browns are
gosh.
winning that game. I hope you don't realize that.
Let me make sure. Let me
Right,
make
you
sure.
got Ronald Darby right now,
It's
cornerback,
bad, man.
No, that's a real corner, right?
and
there.
Marcus Sin. Those are our best 2 corners.
Oh man, yeah.
That's pretty
Come on,
bad.
Humphrey out.
All right,
I'm not
well,
gonna
I'll
lie.
still be rooting against him.
How was your O line?
You said what?
How's your O line?
How's that online?
Yeah.
How are
Yes,
they?
the Ravens play the Browns this week.
Lamar Jackson, man.
All
He's the
right.
O line.
Right, we got Morgan Moses right tackle,
Yeah,
Stanley left
that's
tackle.
why he never finished seasons. But continue.
Ty Linderbaum, he got hurt, but he gonna be back pretty soon.
Y'all need to fire the training staff.
I think Ben.
I think it's because they
Bates-
practice on the sawdust field. Have you ever seen the Ravens field? That field look crazy. That practice field, that joint look like dirt.
It does,
Yeah.
but
They
hey,
already on like their 4th running
but
back. at this point.
I just think we just fumbled.
That's every year.
We had
though.
too many
That's,
turnovers last game.
that's an expected outcome.
We had what's it called? 3 penalties that was called throughout the game. First one was like second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar got tackled and the DB literally stood up holding his leg and threw his leg up and kept holding this shit while he was trying to get up. It was a face mask on Zay Flowers, like
I did
third
see that
and
one.
it's like 3rd and 4 or something like that. We needed it. I think it was 4th quarter or early OT. They didn't call it. Then our last overtime possession,
That was a terrible miss.
Zay Flowers did a drag route, threw it, got tackled before the ball even got there.
Oh yeah, that PI. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
a terrible.
It was just
call.
bad calls, but we should never have been in a close game like that anyway with the fucking Colts.
Justin Tucker like barely missed a 61-yarder. That's when I
Yeah.
was scared.
Yeah, he barely missed it.
When he missed that, so yeah, these niggas better lose.
It's one of
I
those
thought it was gonna be a
days.
tie.
It's one of those
Yeah.
days, man. It
The way it
happens.
was going,
Yeah,
I thought
it was
was
just
gonna be a
Not
tie.
on
I'm
Gardner
not gonna lie.
watch.
It was just one of them days though. Like it was, yeah. Our defense played good. Our offense just couldn't hold the ball and the calls. It's just we
Yeah.
stooped at that level.
Losing to Gardner Minshew was sick.
It's very
Yeah,
sick.
but with the Colts, seeing them win this game really gives me hope for the Anthony Richardson era.
Once JT get back.
Even further, well,
Yeah.
he can come back if
So
he
I
wants
can't
to.
say the same sentence and replace it with Cardinals and Kyler Murray.
I didn't say nothing about the Cardinals.
I'm just saying, can I say the same thing though?
I mean, we're not talking about them no more. So you missed your opportunity. So back to Anthony Richardson. I mean, I just have faith for the way the team is running. The team looks like a actual football team, and we were concerned coming to the season, just because the roster itself on paper
Wait, why are you not concerned no more?
looked. Well, just because I think the coaching. 3 weeks is enough for me. I've seen enough. I think the
The
coaching.
coaching is fine. I'm talking about AR.
I mean,
No, I
AR
think-
look
Hey,
fine.
that
They just got
that first and second
they
week.
just got to
the
figure out how to.
system-
They just need to figure out how to limit his carries.
The system
How
they
did he
had
get
in
a
finish the
concussion?
game.
How did he get a
This-
concussion?
the system they had in place for
How did
him
he get a concussion?
a freak accident. Hit his head after running for a touchdown. How dare he?
How
But
dare
you
he?
know, whenever he does come back, I think the offense will be clicking, moving, running
Clicking?
good. I think at worst he'll be the second best rookie quarterback this year. At worst,
Mm.
he's already second best right now.
No,
so it's,
At best, he'll be second.
Hey man, don't forget about Will Levis.
Okay.
he's
Anyway,
the
at
third
best,
string.
he'll be second.
He's the third string behind Malik Willis.
Hey man, same ain't never known.
You said at worst.
Brock Purdy got in.
You really think he'll be end up better than CJ Stroud, bro?
Brock Purdy got
You
in.
really
so
think
it's
You
like-
don't think he does?
You stupid.
You don't think he believes
You
it?
stupid.
You know he believes
Think
this.
about who we're talking about here.
I am.
He believes
think
the
about
traits,
it.
man. He believes in the traits.
Oh, boy.
Trades can only do so much, man.
That's why I said
like
for this
900
year.
yards week 3.
That's why I said for this year.
Okay.
That's why I said.
Oh, you
it
say so
going
over the long haul.
over, no, he's so clear of the rest of them.
That's a who?
Not too much.
Oh my goodness.
All right, we can wrap it up right here. It's games, but we don't need to talk about them. Eagles, Bucks, Falcons, Lions.
Baker,
Jets,
you let me down,
Jets.
man. You looked a little
Falcons Lions surprised me. I'm not gonna lie.
Pats, Jets.
didn't watch a single second.
Pats Jets? Oh man.
Niners and Giants.
Pray
Zach
for Garrett
Wilson.
Wilson. Pray for Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall.
Zach Wilson, man, he is. Oh man.
Zach Wilson.
How long before Trevor Siemian starts? Over under one.
Wait,
Three quarters.
he said,
Three
he said-
quarters.
1 quarter. It's. I don't know.
Zach
Hey, don't
Wilson.
forget about Tim Boyle.
Zach Wilson. Here's a message to you.
Oh goodness.
The school system needs more teachers.
No, I don't want him teaching no kids,
The
man.
school system needs more teachers.
The
Use your
Gardner's.
story. Use your story that you
Your
have here.
story?
Motivate the youth. This football thing is over.
If he don't be a QB coach for his
This
favorite
is
high school,
no.
man,
But he's gonna have to teach as well. Go to your high school, be a coach,
It clearly worked
but
in high
also
school.
be a teacher. Don't just teach about football because what you know is not good enough. Teach about life. I don't care how far you made it in the NFL. It was not real NFL football you played. 33 out of 33 in the last 3 years in completion percentage is awful.
I think he's been
Go be
last
a
every
teacher.
year.
Go teach health in your local county and educate the youth.
Psychology too.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go to a psychologist after this experience. He has just been very bad. It's very disappointing to see sports fans QB1 from that draft class just fall off a cliff the way he has.
What did you see, bro? Because
He
QB2,
saw
I
he
can
saw the
understand.
fake traits, the traits that didn't exist.
He had traits
Nah,
at BYU.
not them real ones.
Now,
Them was them.
it's not even like he's just playing like bad. It's almost like he can't see the field, like he's legally blind. Almost said some things that was almost gonna get us canceled. So I'm not gonna say that.
We probably would have just censored it. But.
Yeah, I'm still not gonna say it. It's really bad. It's to be this level of bad is historic. It's 3 years in. It's like he just everything Aaron Rodgers told him, he just said fuck that shit.
Literally.
Still doing the same shit. Niggas wide open, late throws, getting the receiver killed, taking bad sacks. He's trying to scramble, but he ain't going nowhere. He
I
look
think
like Johnny
he's
Manziel.
just.
He might need
He
Aaron.
honestly look like Johnny Manziel.
He might need Aaron on the sideline.
No, that's not going. He gonna
Aaron
try to
who?
play like him.
Rodgers?
Yes.
What is he gonna do? Tell him to
Maybe-
throw to every play?
Maybe everybody just isn't as smart as we thought they were.
Back to the Josh Allen thing for week 1.
Nah, not that dumb. But but no, Zach Wilson. It's a shame to see how the mighty have fallen. But these quarterbacks.
What was the other game? I feel like I can touch on it.
Niners, Giants. Don't really matter either.
Snooze fest.
Yeah. And what's the other one?
Speaking of
Lions and
quarterbacks,
Falcons.
this next draft class,
Bucks, Eagles.
I'm motivated to talk
No.
about these quarterbacks in a couple weeks. I'm looking forward to the mock drafts already.
Already? Wow.
Yeah, man. Michael
Yeah,
Penix.
this-
Do you think we getting more than 5 this year?
First round?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man,
More than 5?
Yeah. Do you think we get more than 5?
who's your QB3? This will tell me how much you know.
My,
Who's your
my QB3?
Yeah.
Still the guy in Colorado.
Nah, that's not the right answer.
So for you, it's Penix.
Yeah, I got Penix. He's nice.
And QB4 is not Colorado either. But
Colorado shouldn't be QB anything.
Who do you have
Because he's
over-
not coming out this year.
Yes.
Who do you have at QB4?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Okay. 4.
Oregon and Texas.
I never thought
Texas might soar up the boards.
I never thought I'd see the day where Texas was going to be over Colorado.
Hey,
He
Colorado.
was good last year.
Wait,
I
top
saw.
five?
I saw the.
I'm saying on Christian's list. 'Cause
Yeah, I
Christian-
saw the pocket presence from Colorado, and I was a little worried.
So
Out of
got-
structure.
Do you think he can improve his stock against USC this week?
Yeah, he can. USC's defense isn't as tough as Oregon's, I believe. So he, as long as he puts together a decent performance, his stock should remain
Well, USC's putting up 90
generally
this
high.
week. USC finna put up 90.
They sure will, but that doesn't have nothing to do with Shadur. At least I hope he don't step
Man,
foot
hope
on
he don't
defense.
bring that watch out this week.
Please.
The other issue with Shadur is he's not a. Initially I thought he didn't run because he didn't have to, but he's actually not a plus athlete for the position in general.
You think with his dad, you think you get some speed.
Yeah,
but
and
I guess it
I mean,
Even
Eli and Peyton didn't get Archie
Shiloh,
speed.
even Shiloh's.
I'm about to say, you ain't see Shiloh
no.
pick 6?
Shiloh's
he was
not-
moving, man. What you talking about? He tried to
Nah.
high step. And he looked. He said, "Oh no,
Nah, I can't do it.
stepping that.
He said, "I can't do that."
He felt that hammy get tight. When I seen that, that was really sick of him to try to high step like his dad. Because he's not going to get another one either. That's the sad
That's
part.
why he tried to high step.
Because,
He was
like,
like, "This the
you
one."
never know where you're getting another one. His career is done after this year. He's going
Oh
to
Dang.
he's going to work with Deion
doesn't have
Sanders
another
Jr.
year?
on the social media.
Yeah,
Man, I
he
hope he
is.
don't. He been in college since I was in 10th grade. I hope he don't have another year. But yeah, Shadur, he got to work on that pocket presence a little bit. But I do think he has the arm. His down the field accuracy is impeccable. But he just got to work on that pocket presence. And
So-
he is raw. He doesn't have as much experience against these
question.
top defenses.
Fifth round.
No. See,
Whoa,
no,
whoa.
no,
What are
no,
we
no,
doing?
no,
What
no,
are we
no.
doing?
Has
I'm gonna be
there
honest with you.
has there been
But the difference between him and DTR, who just won the 5th round.
Wait,
would take
DTR,
DTR.
man, DTR shouldn't have been a 5th rounder though.
but okay, question.
That's
So
that's the Sam Howell 2.0 in terms of
It's
draft stock.
DTR is way better than Sam Howell.
has there been a draft class with this much hype for QBs since how long has
Probably
it been?
2018.
2018. What was that Sam Darnold, Josh
yeah,
Allen?
Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker.
Oh, you don't have to say
Lamar
Rosen.
and, Josh
You
Allen.
left out Rosen. But
I'm sorry, man. That's one of the 5 guys that was in the draft.
But even like before draft season, like when college season first began, like the first like 5 weeks.
I
I feel like that draft class is different because those guys weren't really the level of prospects that these guys are this
Gotcha.
year. Darnold, like they were all like
I don't know.
so
man.
quarterbacks. If you have a 1st/2nd round quarterback, they're always going to go early in the draft because teams need quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But as prospects, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar, they all had very obvious flaws that would really question how much they worked at the next level. These quarterbacks in this class also have flaws, of course, but
It's-
Caleb Williams is generational. Drake May is right up there with him. And you got Michael Penix, man. People don't know yet, but
They just had to get him out of Indiana.
man, he was nice there too. But
He was,
people,
but I'm
yeah,
just
they
saying
didn't know.
it wouldn't have been like.
And then you got Quinn. If Quinn Ewers was in that draft class,
You talking about last year,
no, 2018.
2018.
If you transfer him to that draft class, I think he goes over.
He might go over Josh, but I don't think he's going over Sam.
Nah, he's going over Sam, man.
Sam's first QB take? No, Baker was. Do it.
I don't know
Baker,
why
then
Cleveland
Sam.
did that, but
Take that. My bad. I forgot about Baker.
You don't know why Cleveland did what?
why they took. We're not going to this.
Baker's the only one who, between Sam and Josh.
Oh, I was
Okay.
like,
Nah,
Yeah, Baker's the only
good.
I think he's saying he's the only
People
one.
not really calling him a bust for real. They be
Okay.
calling Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen's bust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I argue against that?
No,
I can't say nothing to that.
no,
You
we're
might as
moving
well.
on.
I mean, the
I'm honest,
floor is
Ron.
yours.
I don't know. I feel like you gotta be a bust at a QB if the team rather pay?
Oh my gosh.
How much
never
they
mind.
pay?
Never mind. Never
How
mind.
much they pay number 4?
See, Brian, you told him yes, and I told him.
How much they pay number 4?
I don't know.
They rather pay that man that much money, knowing what he did,
I
than keep Baker Mayfield.
You got to remember, he's not a good person.
I'm being honest. It's the facts.
So to answer your question, Caleb, like CT said, I don't think there's ever been this type of QB class where like all these guys are practically ready, and there are guys like even though he'll probably be a mid-round quarterback, guys like Jaden Daniels who were getting hyped.
Sucks.
No, I'm not saying that.
Take that back.
This could be
No. I'm just saying he was being hyped going into the season. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm not saying he's a first round caliber quarterback. That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't talk about him no more.
I'm just saying that's the level of hype. I think outside of probably maybe 2018 and then maybe 2011, 2012, in terms of hype, maybe.
RG3 and Andrew Luck, yes.
But in terms of being ready as quarterback prospects, I don't think there's ever been one that's better.
So before we close out,
Sorry.
no, you good. I forgot my question. You forget it. Well, wait. No, I remember. Another question. It's a comment. You know who had the biggest like drop off ever in college that I didn't expect? Well, first year I suspected it, but like before when coming into college, I was like, all right, this man may be a dog. Spencer Rattler.
Speaking of him,
Yeah, and he's another guy.
he's getting drafted.
He is.
Drop off? You must not know.
He had a mean drop off. What you mean?
You must not know.
No.
He's talking about the Oklahoma
Like,
years.
his hype becomes
Talking
to
about the
Oklahoma?
years.
Nah, when he was
Oh,
on.
he was going to Oklahoma.
What was the TV show he was on?
QB1.
The
QB1.
Spencer,
He was on QB1.
the Spencer Rattler hype was all social media, though, because he was ranked as the top quarterback, but that was a real weak quarterback class. Like, he was ranked 20th in the nation, but he was the top quarterback. Most of the quarterbacks but he was just ranked high. He went to Oklahoma, so they thought Lincoln Riley was just going to turn him into something.
Nope.
So that was real
And then
social
Caleb
media
Williams.
hype.
I mean,
took that
he
job.
did
Yeah.
turn somebody into something.
Caleb
Just
Williams
the
took
guy
that job
behind
real
him.
quick.
Yeah, that was social media hype, in my opinion. Because that class was just looking for a quarterback to be good.
Yeah.
But it seemed like them last couple weeks, like he found something. Because it was Clemson, and I think it was somebody else the week before. He looked like the Spencer Rattler that everybody expected him
Yeah,
to
he
be.
found a coach that's going to put him in that one read system to let him throw that ball.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Well, we got enough time to do the outro. This has been another edition of the What's Play podcast. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm Christian, here with Brian and SportsFan, Caleb behind the camera. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next play.